Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today is a Daytime Emmy Award-winning actress and producer. She's the president of the RHL Group, an event production and entertainment company. She is featured in the October 2021 issue of Angelino magazine for her philanthropy and film work. She appears in the upcoming feature film Love on the Rock, released on October 14th, 2021. Please welcome my friend Kira Reed Lorsch.
Hey, Kash, how are ya?
Kira, how are you? It's such an honor to have you on the show. You are such a star. I could even see you flaunting your Daytime Emmys, your Walk of Fame star. You're incredible.
Thank you. You know, this is my little, I call it my little shrine to myself, which is so egotistical. And then I'm like, well, it's okay. It's Hollywood. That's what we're supposed to do.
You really encompass everything. You start off acting, you go into producing, you're about philanthropy. Tell us how your story began.
Well, you know, I always wanted to be an actress since I was a little girl. I played dress up all the time. I watched TV religiously. Like I would watch Nick at Night. And, you know, from a very early age, I wanted to be inside the TV. I don't know what made me be born that way, but I was. So I said, Mom, how do I get on TV? When I was 4 years old, my favorite show was Romper Room. And my mom got me an audition for Romper Room. And I got to meet Miss Marianne. And my first gig was Romper Room at age 4.
No way.
Yeah. So I was a kid and I was vivacious and I was just, you know, kind of shy really in real life. But when I was on TV, like I knew what I was supposed to do. Like I knew like once the camera was on me, like that's when I was gonna like come to life and light up and like nothing mattered until the camera hits you and then the world starts. And I felt that really early on. And I did commercials and I was a child, you know, model, whatever was available to me, the catalogs, you know, all of that. I got a scholarship to UCLA after going to the LA County High School for the Arts for theater, film, and television. And I started working as an extra. My first shows, I don't know if you're too young for this, Kash, but you know, the original 90210, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, you know, My So-Called Life. Like this is how I got my chops, like being part of the classrooms of these, you know, 90s, you know, Jennifer Aniston's was in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off spinoff.
Wow.
That was
Okay.
in 1991, you know, the television show that short-lived, but you know, like I was in this classroom of those people. And I got my SAG card being bumped up for a line on 90210 in the Peach Pit.
We have a few parallels here because I was the same way growing up. I was watching Nick at Night with my parents. My dad really liked Taxi. We liked Mork and Mindy. That really, and Robin Williams in the 90s growing up, Hook and Mrs. Doubtfire, those. And then I was really into Spielberg. So, I mean, I was always like recreating the clock tower scene and Back to the Future. And I mean, they actually dressed me up like Michael J. Fox when I was a kid. I had like a denim, because I love that movie so much. They gave me like denim pants and I had a jean jacket. I was always performing. I mean, whether it was Pirates or Ghostbusters, we were just always like just dressing up and doing costumes, and I was always putting on plays. My mom was working on the third Naked Gun movie, so I got to go with her to work one day, and they let me do a scene in the back of the grocery store. Like, hey, Michelle, does your son want to? So it was cool. I got to meet Leslie Nielsen, and I mean, I was up. When we went to the premiere, I was supposed to have a line, but you could just see my spiky little head in the background and you could see my mom's reaction. But yeah, that was really one of the first memories that I had, just being a little kid and being on set. I was working with my manager. You know, I'd done like a few short films. About 9 years ago, I auditioned for this movie and I booked the role of Adam, and it's in this movie called Undateable John. It was like Tom Arnold, Estella Warren. It was so cool. I got to like hang out with Daryl Hannah and do the table read with everyone. And then I get a call from my manager. She's like, by the way, we got Shannon Doherty to play the part opposite you. I'm like, no way. Go to set. I get to meet Shannon, and she was so sweet, so cool. And in this scene, it's like this kind of confrontational scene at the climax of the movie. And Shannon, I do something that makes Shannon's character very mad at me. So she basically pulls out a gun. She gets to beat me up. I have bleach blonde hair, a gold chain. It was just funny because Shannon's like ready to kill me in this scene. And then they yell cut. She laughed. It was just such a great experience. So like you, I do have that 90210 and the Nick at Night. I was always dressing up as kids. So I think that's why we click. Our worlds paralleled.
Yeah. And you mentioned some of those great classics like Back to the Future and Ghostbusters, and that's probably why I see you at the Hollywood Museum all the time. Like we love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the nostalgia, and to keep it alive, and to, you know, to be grow up, as kids in that era, and have it still be, 30 years later, it still be a hold up kind of movie, a stand up kind of movie. But that's what you get from Spielberg or Zemeckis, right?
You couldn't have said it better. You and I could go on all day about the classics. People ask me like, Kash, what was your favorite movie? I could just go down the list with just different filmmakers. If I'm having a day, you need that inspiration. If there's just a good movie that's on, it can really just flip everything around for me. And then I'll get inspired and want to write something about, like, all right, now we got to get a production together and make this movie happen.
Totally. I love it when I'm just flipping channels and there's a movie on that I love. I watched like the last 15 minutes of Bull Durham last night.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie. Baseball, Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, sexy, philosophy, comedy. I mean, it doesn't get any better,
I have so much respect for you. You've been featured in various magazines for your philanthropy, businesswoman. I mean, you really get these jobs done. And I know we've had mutual friends that you've worked with. You were a producer on the Bay series and were nominated for a Daytime Emmy.
Yeah, I don't think when the Bay hired me as an actress to come on to be a guest actress, they realized I was a producer, and I love those guys, Gregory and Christos, and Wendy Rich came on as a writing partner later, but I came in early on and they were really just starting up. And, like I'm a great problem solver. Like in life, I like to fix things. I like see the big picture. So I come in as a guest actress. By the next season, I'm like a producer and and my part, keeps getting bigger. And I went for a couple of seasons. It's just my natural tendency. Like I can't help it sometimes, and sometimes it's my fault. Like I can't just be the actress. I mean, I can when I'm just tired and I sit down and I shut up and I do my job and I leave set and I don't want to cause the problems. But when we're dealing with low budget movies where people have to do multiple things or trying to get sponsors or trying to do something on a shoestring budget or figure out logistics, like I'm just naturally good at that. I'm an organizer. I'm a hands-on person, and I don't like being idle. Like, I don't want to sit around. Like, I already know my lines. I'm sitting here ready to go. Like, I would rather be multitasking unless I have like a very dramatic role or character driven role where I really seriously need to concentrate. That's like 1/10 of the time, as an actor is like the work. So I like doing stuff. It keeps me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
I totally know what you're saying because I'm the exact, again, this is something else we have in common. There's so many times when I'm on set and if it's like an independent movie, and with me, it's like, I know my place. I'm like, hey, it's like you hire me to be an actor. I'm I want to give you the best performance and I'll deliver what I signed on to do. But there has been times when you're on set, if you're my friend and it's like, I find something that's beneficial that might not work for me. Like, hey, you should really talk to this person because they'll promote your movie and get this out. And I think that this particular festival will be a good fit for you. So I'm with you. There's so many projects where, I've gotten a part and then I'll end up getting a producer role. I like to wear different hats. It's hard to keep me idle.
Yeah, for sure. To be able to be multidimensional. And as you know, as an actor in the city, we can just sit around waiting for someone to offer us a part, or we can be out there writing, creating, networking, making our world bigger and finding our own projects. And I think that's, everybody has to have a little bit of do it yourself and gumption. And the way Hollywood is run these days, it's not all set up through your agent, and it's not all like, you're going to do a screen test, for the studio. It's kind of like, who do you know? Who likes you? Do you have your own material? What can you bring to the project that's going to make it better besides just, your ability to be an actor? Like it's the whole package these days.
I was just talking to our friend Jeff Rector before the Burbank Film Festival, and he said, if you're not doing 90% of the work, that's why the agent only gets 10%, because you really have to be doing 90% of the work to get ahead and make things happen. And he's right. I mean, even his film festival, Burbank Film Festival, it's been such a great way to just really network. I know some of our colleagues on the Bay have been involved and have had content in there recently. When people ask me questions, I'm like, I just started going to film festivals because if I go and support someone's work and then we hit it off, we end up collaborating on something down the line.
For sure. I was just at the Burbank Film Festival. The Bay was there. We won again this year. I'm not a producer on it this year, but
I was there too. I think we just missed each other. I was there opening night, and then I got invited to one of their other events, but it was a fun.
Yeah, like you said, I really like that quote that Jeff said about 90% of it is you. It's you hustling, and also the idea of luck in this town. There is luck, but it's also, you know, the preparation meets timing version of luck. It's you doing all the work, and then it's God or the universe or Hollywood or whatever you want to call it is, you know, the universe starts working for you when you start working for yourself and putting good out there, and then things come your way. It's like, it's just to be part of the flow of it all. You got to be out there doing something.
You said it, like that Shannon Doherty movie, Undateable John. We shot that probably about 9 years ago, and the writer producer was working on something else, and they had the script called Jack and Cocaine, and they wanted me to play Jack. So I wrapped that. And then a month later, we went right into production. It was like my first starring role in an independent feature. And on that project, I became more of a producer role, and I really learned marketing. Undateable John, they were trying to get into a few festivals, but it took a couple of years for it to actually get released. And but I'm like you, where it's like right when it got released, it was so bizarre how things had come full circle, because by then I had done a movie with Sherry Belafonte, directed by Kathy Cola, and then we collaborated on a new series called Mayhem of the Mind. I had gotten involved with Film Fest LA Live. That's had this Kash Hovey and Friends film block every year for the past 3 years. So I really look at what I was doing, and then right when Undateable John got a distribution deal in 2019, I was over at WME doing voiceover, and Shannon was there. So I really had this chance meeting with Shannon after all those years. I'm like, you know what? It's literally just coming out. I got to do an article. So I feel like whatever I had to go through, I'm really conscious of. For a while, we're like, oh, when's it coming out? Or I'd be giving an interview, and then someone would ask me about Undateable John. And then everything just lined up for that moment when it was ready to be released.
Everything happens at the perfect time.
Exactly. The thing I admire most about you too is you're such a doer. You joined the cast of the Emmy-nominated series The Bay in 2014, and then you become part of the producing team. The series wins the Daytime Emmy for the Outstanding Drama Series. And then you take home an Emmy as a producer for the show in 2016, and then again in 2018 for New Approaches.
Yeah, and I was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Joe Connor, so I got an acting nomination out of this whole the Bay business too. So that was really fun. People are like, did you ever dream that it would be possible to be an Emmy winner or Emmy nominated this or what? And I'm like, yeah. I dreamed it, and now I'm living it, because you know you have to know that that's possible and feel like you can and go after it and do it. Like, did I think it was possible? Heck yeah. That's why it's all working out, you know?
That's why you went for it and you did it. And you're so right on too, where I just feel like it's such a community where everyone looks out for each other. And because I'm like that too. I mean, I like to be like, hey, you know, it's like, let's, you know, you have an idea, we're clicking, let's get an idea together. And I feel like when we do use our resources, it's just, you know, I really just love working with my friends. I love especially when I get to work with someone who I know who inspires me. I'm like, wow, you know, just the right project came together at the right time. And then now we get to celebrate it. We have a film festival that's interested, or we have a distribution deal. There's nothing more magical for me than that. And you're someone too, it's like, you know, because you've been so celebrated for your work. You were profiled in the Angelino magazine's Dynamic Women of Los Angeles in 2018. You were also Icons of Beverly Hills and Modern Luxury Beverly Hills, the fall 2018 and 19 issue. And you were in 2020 Modern Luxury, the Hope issue. And you were also spotlighted in the 2021 October issue of Angelino magazine.
It pays to know the publisher of Modern Luxury. Pays to know Christopher Gianella.
Christopher, we love you.
But yeah, they've been really kind to me. You know, I was introduced to them by one of the PR girls, Tiffany Ladner, years ago, you know, who does the Bay and other things. And me and Chris hit it off. And whenever I've got a new project, he's like, is there anything you want to plug? And they do great events, and they really do a nice job of spotlighting whatever philanthropy you're up to as well. Which is great, because you know I'm on the board of the California Science Center. I've been the president of the Phalians, Hollywood for Mental Health, supporting our wounded military men and women who come back blown up from Afghanistan and Iraq, and they get put back together at UCLA Medical Center, but they need programs for what goes on in here when they're trying to get back out into the world. So we support mental health programs for the families of Operation Mend. And as well as, you know, fun stuff like the rescue dogs of Shelter Hope Pet Shop, where my animals come from, my little dog Missy, who's the love of my life.
It is October, it's the Halloween season. You are a featured celebrity in the Halloween Hotness for St. Jude's this year.
Yeah, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. They do a really fun event. It's called Halloween Hotness. And I love Halloween. I love dressing up. I love, you know, I used to go to when, you know, the Halloween parties at the Playboy Mansion back in the day, like that was like, to me, it was like the best holiday all year. And I've been involved in the horror industry here and there. You know, I did the movie Amityville Witches, which we shot in London right before the pandemic. It came out in 2020. Me and Donna Spangler and Britton are, and there's me in the middle. We're the three good witch sisters that saved the day from the evil, horrible witch who's trying to take our niece and, you know, destroy the world and turn it into darkness. So it's a fun romp for Halloween, you know.
Stream it on Amazon Prime, and it's available for DVD, so you gotta watch it this Halloween season. Your new feature film, Love on the Rock, on October 14th. What can you tell us about your role?
Well, you know what? I did the movie Beckman, and I did a co-production with my RHL Group company on the movie Beckman that came out last year. With David A.R. White and Billy Baldwin. I was Billy Baldwin's henchwoman. We're talking about Hollywood's a small world. My friend Vincent DePaul, who I met on the Bay, introduced me to David, and he said he was looking for someone who could be a soccer mom, book club mom by day, and a human trafficking assassin by night. And I said, look no further than me. So I was part of the helping develop the character and the script with the director, Gabe Sabloff, you know, a little bit, but they just had such great ideas and fun. And to be able to take their sort of family Christian content and turn it into an action adventure movie a la John Wick or Taken, I just thought was so brilliant. And I really liked working with David. And so when he called me, and during the pandemic and said, can you be in Malta in 3 days? Because I'm over here with Vincent and Matt Shapira, and the lead bad woman just got recast as a lead bad guy, Stephen Bauer. I know he's your friend, and we need to surround him with henchwomen, kind of like you did for Billy Baldwin and Beckman. And I said, how soon do I have to be there? Send me someone to get me a COVID test, get me on a plane, get me out of my house. And I went over there and we shot what was the beginning stages. And it was so, you know, how do you make a movie in a pandemic in a foreign country between Africa and Sicily? I mean, I was like, how is this even possible? Because there was a lot of faith going on, and also just a lot of people believing they could do it, and we did. And I didn't even know what my part was. They gave me one of the guys' parts and turned it into a woman part, but I got to work with my friends, get out of the house during the pandemic. I ended up having a really great scene with David A.R. White, having an amazing adventure in Malta, meeting all these new friends. Go to Malta. It's like the Rock. That's why it's called Love on the Rock, is the new title of the movie. It's out October 14th. We're actually having a big premiere party on my birthday at the Universal Hilton, October 13th. Kash, you have to come. And I'm now a co-producer on the movie somehow, because I always end up helping.
Just like me. And yes, and I'm a Libra as well. I think that's why we click so well.
Yeah, but it's a small part and a big birthday for me. So I'm excited that Love on the Rock comes out everywhere just in time for my big day.
We're celebrating your movie, and most of all, we're celebrating you. Kira, I really can't thank you enough for your time.
Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, Hollywood, for embracing me and letting me do what I love for so many years. And thank you, Kash, for having me. I look forward to seeing you at the premiere.
Kira, you've been such a great friend. You're such an inspiration. Everyone, I need you to follow Kira Reed Lorsch right now. You need to pick up the October issue of Angelino magazine. It's the Halloween season. Get involved in Halloween hotness. For St. Jude's, we have this woman right here as a featured celebrity. She's in the Amityville, which is available on Amazon Prime right now. You can stream it or go on Amazon and get the DVD. And you can also catch Kira in the upcoming feature film, Love on the Rock. I'm going to be celebrating with her on October 13th at the Universal Hilton, where it's going to have its premiere. And then it's available for everyone to stream on October 14th. Kira, again, I can't thank you enough for your time. You're an inspiration. You're an artist. You're a businesswoman. You're a philanthropist. There's nothing you can't do. Keep on inspiring and creating great work.
Thanks so much, Kash.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Kira Reed Lorsch today. You are on air with Kash.